Hello. I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 10th, 2022 meeting of the Pine Bluffs Town Council. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on the agenda is the agenda approval.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda.
I'm through most of it too, so.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
On to new business. We have a couple of resolutions to approve. I just need to read these. Yeah, I was trying to remember which one's which. The first one is Resolution 2022-01, a resolution providing for the appointment of a representative to the Wyoming Municipal Power Agency Board of Directors.
I move to approve the the resolution as presented.
I guess we could say it's for me to.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we approve the resolution as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
This. Oh,
Sorry.
I am.
Okay. Thank you.
Should I say my name so you get that on record?
Yes, please.
Justin Fornstrom.
Thank you.
I should have said that in the body of that.
Got it.
This one tripped me up earlier. So Resolution 2022-02, a resolution authorizing submission of a federal mineral royalty capital construction account grant application to the State Loan and Investment Board on behalf of the governing body for the town of Pine Bluffs for the purpose of completing extensive repairs to town well number 7. So this is basically, maybe Kim could just.
Yes, so
If you
we
have any
are
questions.
applying for an emergency mineral royalty grant to help offset the costs of the repairs to well number 7. As you know, we had Sargent Drilling Company investigate the well failure. That's the one where we had sand coming up through the well. And we had found that the water column was corroded, and essentially the water blew a hole in the column pipe. So we need to go in there and redevelop the well screen so that we can remove all the sand. We need to refurbish the discharge head, replace the pump bowl assembly, and replace about 80 feet of 8-inch water column pipe. We anticipate a project cost a little over $35,000. We are requesting a 75% grant with a 25% match by the town to help offset the cost. As you know, well number 7 provides a large quantity of water for the town, probably about 20% of the overall town water is, we usually get generated by well number 7. It's one of our shallow wells, but it still is a great producing well. So unfortunately, over the last 2 to 3 years, we have depleted our water reserves from the numerous repairs that we had to make to both well number 5 and well number 9, which are our deep wells. And so we are asking to not completely deplete our reserves by going in for some emergency assistance to make the repairs to this pump, or to this well, rather. In order to do that, the State Loan and Investment Board requires us to have, part of the grant package is to have approval from the governing body, knowing that we are applying for this grant.
Any questions?
Are they gonna replace the casing or run plastic casing inside?
I think they're gonna replace the casing. It says replacement of 80 feet of 8-inch water column pipe, and they're gonna powder coat it to protect the column.
Move to approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2022-02. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we will move on to visitor presentations and comments. First one up is we have Boyd Reed, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
For candidate for Laramie County Sheriff.
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, my name's Boyd Reed. I am running for Laramie County Sheriff. I am born and raised. My wife and I are both born and raised here in Laramie County. Family homesteaded in 1860s around Carpenter. A little bit about myself. I've just under 21 years with the Cheyenne Police Department. I was a patrol sergeant, commander of the bomb squad, in charge of the mounted unit, trained for a little bit of time with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Ottawa, Canada. Worked with just about every federal agency as a bomb tech that we have, including the U.S. military. Been a sworn-in deputy U.S. Marshal, doing warrant services as a anyway, that's just a little bit about my background. I'm not going to stand here and tell you all the problems with the Sheriff's Department. You guys know them probably very well. What I'd like to say is what my plans are. I believe that we need to bring back traditional values to law enforcement around here. I would like the deputies, we need to get the Sheriff's Department manned back up. Once they were manned back up, I want to bring back resident deputies. Right now, there are currently no resident deputies. There are only 24 deputies trying to patrol this entire county. That's why we never see them out in the county. Once we get resident deputies back, I would like to see them out on the county roads. There's no reason they can't be on every county road at least once a month in this county. I also want them stopping and they see somebody out moving a herd of cows, plowing a field, stop and visit, introduce themselves. Because bringing back that human contact is how we get trust back in our law enforcement. And if you know these deputies by name, you will be more than willing to go and talk to them when you have problems. Next, other things I'd like to do besides that is mutual aid agreements. I've worked with, as the Cheyenne Police Department, I was on 2 joint units, bomb squad and mounted unit. I trained the mounted unit, both the Sheriff's Department and Police Department, and I saw a lot of issues and shortcomings that how the Sheriff's Department treated their deputies. And mutual aid agreements were non-existent for a long time between the Cheyenne Police Department and the Laramie County Sheriff, even with the 2 units, and I seriously doubt that there is a MOU between Pine Bluffs PD and the Sheriff's Department, which we need to be, because we don't have the manpower. There's no reason we can't use Pine Bluffs PD with your permission to assist in the county, especially the rural, close areas. The jail, we've all heard in the paper where the jail's not accepting prisoners. It's not new. They've been doing that for a long time. that needs to be changed. I'm a little nervous.
You're fine.
Anyway, that's just a few of my plans. I do have a web page and a Facebook page. And I encourage you guys to go to my Facebook page. It's Boyd Reed for Sheriff. Now, the last name's Germans couldn't spell, so the last name's spelled with a W. Anyway, go to my Facebook page and you can see a detailed list of my accomplishments, experience, and my goals for the Sheriff's Department. One more thing, I did retire in 2018. And since then, I've been at home trying to make cutting horses. Not doing very well at it. Donating a lot of money in entry fees and leasing cattle. So anyway, that's my presentation. Does anybody have any questions, comments that I could answer?
You work for Cheyenne PD,
Yes, sir.
not the Sheriff's Department?
No, sir. I work for the Cheyenne Police Department.
Who was the chief?
When I hired on, it was John Powell.
Okay.
John Powell was the chief, and then it was Bob Fecht.
Just trying to figure out how old you are.
I started in '98.
So the mutual aid, as you see it, is some type of better relationship with the rural communities in general, or with,
By having a mutual aid agreement and having a working relationship, the training opportunities that we, as a group, could provide to each other, and the working capabilities that we would benefit from the training together. God forbid we have a active shooter, school shooting. Every agency in this county is going to respond. Game and Fish, Highway Patrol, Sheriff's Department, Police Department. We may even get you federal law enforcement there. And if we don't train together and are all on the same page in how we're going to go into this building and deal with the situation, then how can we do it in real life? So by having those mutual aid agreements and instituting a training program, including all law enforcement agencies, we train together, we can operate together. So I see mutual aid agreements and the training opportunities as vital.
good.
Are you one other question, on the mutual aid, if you become sheriff, would you consider giving our police officers sheriff deputy cards to go out in the county?
That's where the mutual aid agreement comes into play. Pat Crank, when he was the Attorney General in 2004, 2005, somewhere around in there, he wrote an opinion that under Wyoming state statute, having deputy cards, commission cards for local police departments was against state statute. So he said you can't do that because as Cheyenne police officers, we all had commission cards, sworn in deputies. But he made that decision, so everybody's commission cards went away. So then we had to go to mutual aid agreements. And with mutual aid agreements, it pretty much gives them the authority to operate outside of their jurisdiction, like with Pine Bluffs PD, your jurisdiction is just the city limits of Pine Bluffs, same with Cheyenne. And in Cheyenne, we had little pockets of county surrounded by city. And as a police officer, without the mutual aid agreements, we couldn't go into that county pocket, which is stupid. So by getting the mutual aid agreements, you do the same thing as the commission cards. So.
Well, you know, Roger Offset gave us deputy cards.
Mm-hmm.
When Danny Glick became sheriff, he took them away from us.
Yes, sir, because that's,
And then he took the resident deputies away from us. We used to have 4 resident deputies out in Laramie County on the east. Now we have none.
I know. And that's gotta be changed.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like I said, right now, there are 24 deputies trying to patrol this entire county. And all the rural deputies are gone. So you guys and Albin and Burns, you guys are pretty much islands surrounded by ocean. You guys are on your own. And that's not right. We've got to get things fixed at the sheriff's department. Part of that's gonna be a structured pay scale. Because right now, the way things are working at the sheriff's department is they've negotiated wages, and you've got junior deputies making more money than senior deputies, and junior sergeants making more money than senior sergeants. Well, that's gonna kill morale. So you're seeing, and then they're not utilizing, in my opinion, appropriately, the experience that they have there. They've got deputies there that have 10+ years in drug interdiction and drug investigations. You've got 3 detectives at the sheriff's department to handle all of the felony cases in this state, 3 or 4 detectives. Well, I did 4 years in detectives with Cheyenne, and we had a dozen detectives doing property crimes and person crimes. And we each carried a minimum of 40 cases. The deputies are handling over 100 cases each. There's no way they can handle that type of caseload and do it justice. And it's not the fault of the deputies. They just have such a high turnover rate right now. They're such a young department with as far as experience that they have no choice but to put these junior deputies into detectives. And by getting it manned back up, getting these deputies trained in investigations, search and seizures, making sure that they understand case law, the Constitution, and state statutes is paramount. And by understanding those 3 elements, you reduce your liability. If you understand all the case laws, state statutes, and the Constitution, and you operate within them, and you know how to operate within them, the chances of being sued successfully dwindle. Statistics, I hate statistics because they can be manipulated. As a police officer, you have a 1 in 3 chance of being sued. But if you do things right, you understand your job, you have a 1 in 3 chance of losing. So, we need to get the sheriff's department manned back up. We need to get them trained, quality training, utilize the experience that they have there to do this training, and put them back out here and bring back that human element. We need that human element. When the deputies stop at the truck stop down here, they run in, they grab their pop, they grab their candy bar, and they leave. And you guys don't know the deputies. When you see one, you're thinking something's wrong. When that's not the way it should be. The way it should be was, oh, there's deputy so-and-so, and I've got his cell phone number. And if he makes a traffic stop on you, on one of your kids, he could have the option to say, I know your dad, or I know your mom, you're being stupid, and I'm gonna call your folks. Okay? Not necessarily write that ticket. He can, but he doesn't have to. The goal of law enforcement is to correct behavior, not to punish. And getting back to that human element and the value systems that we all grew up with, that we seem to have lost over the past 20 years, that's going to do more by calling the parents than writing the ticket. We'll probably accomplish a whole lot more. So, anyway, I apologize, I rambled. Not a politician. So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Does the sheriff department budget allow for increasing personnel?
Yes. I believe the money to man it back up is in the budget. The sheriff's department right now is giving back a lot of money back to the county commissioners. Millions back to the county commissioners. When that money could be utilized to hire more deputies, fix the pay scale. Now, it's a line budget, and they say, well, you can't just arbitrarily change it. Well, I understand that, but if you walk in, research your problem, walk into the county commissioners or the city council and say, this is what I need to do, we can all be reasonable and sit down and talk about it and correct the problem. That's what it comes down to, is the human contact again. Being able to walk in and say, this is my problem, this is what I want to do to fix it. And most people are going to say, okay, you're not asking to change your budget right now, we can do this. Or if you are asking to change your budget, have a legitimate reason for it and not go, I need another 20 million, be realistic on your goals. The money should be there. The money's in the budget to fix the problems right now. So, I could say a lot more, but.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming
Thank you.
out tonight.
I've got some business cards, I'm gonna sit right over here. Anybody wants them, thank you for your
Okay.
time, I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good luck. Any other visitor comments?
Carrie wants to get out of here to watch a football game.
Yes, sir.
Don't call me sir. I have a question for Kim.
Yes.
Why did that water column decay and go away? Could they give you an answer to that?
So basically, what happened was there was a hole in the pipe, so all of the pressure that was being pulled out of the well, all the water pressure was coming out of that and basically going through the screen and hitting that water
Now,
column.
because that's a shallow well, does it have something to do with the nitrate that's in our water?
I don't believe that. I think it was just, the age.
Okay. It's an older water column?
It is.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess we'll move on to department reports. Jenna?
I have nothing.
Bubba?
I have nothing.
Alan?
Nothing new for me.
I'm clean this week.
Wow. Alex?
I don't think I better bring anything up. No, we're good, thank you.
Great. I have no other people. Jackie?
No, I think I'm good.
Kim?
I just wanted to bring up that we had our project startup meeting for the community master plan. And at the next council meeting on Tuesday, January 25th, we'll have representatives from Logan Simpson to go over some of the project plans and brief the council. I'll be reaching out to those folks that agreed to be on our steering committee and also get them scheduled for meetings as well.
Just also for that meeting, the really thick and really big, but have we at least started down the road of looking at the North project and having some ideas that maybe we could kick around for a little bit and cover some of that on that same meeting, kind of tie in a little bit, but I think we need to continue to move forward on that, so. Anything else from anyone? talked about. The next meeting will be
Yes.
January 25th at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Any other announcements?
I don't think so.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.